This is the
You
thing
hit
I wanted
me.
to do. I wanted to touch you in emphasis.
Oh,
okay.
Emphasis.
Is that
touching.
allowed? It was an emphasis touch.
Yes, I'm just sensitive right now. We were just talking about kidnapping. It's a real thing. Kidnapping
I got you
is
really
not
worked up with that
funny.
Amber Alert.
Yeah.
Hey there, and welcome to the Merriman Podcast. We are very happy to be sharing some airspace with you this week. Johnny and I surprised ourselves by having a lot to talk about this time around. I mean, okay, first of all, we talk about our kid a whole bunch, which, to be fair, we haven't done for a long time, so we kind of had to remind everybody that we have one. We give a little bit of behind the scenes from back in my radio days. We talk about how ideas can spread through music, the idea of collective consciousness. Also, we talk spanking, for or against. I'm going to leave that one ambiguous. And actually, for the first time, we open up a little bit about the elusive sex life as parents to a toddler. We left that part to the end, so if you want to miss it, you can just hit the stop button before we get there, and if you want to skip right to it, well, you cad. Show notes are available at carlyandjohnny.com if you hear something you like and want more info, and that's where you can get links to our social channels too if you want to continue the conversation with us. Now let's settle in for an hour of merriment.
That's it. It's done. I mean, it's happening. It's happened.
Done. The podcast is done.
Well, it's now. It is now. Now is the podcast.
Yeah.
This is a podcast.
Now
in the
is
making.
right now.
Right now. But that now is no longer now. What I'm saying now is no longer now as we speak.
What actually that reminds me of is a kid's book that...
You just turned up my volume on my
Oh,
headphones.
how do I turn up my volume? Because I
Oh.
can't hear very well.
Okay, there we go.
Is that... Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
This kid's book that we have about this like little raccoon who's like, Mom, when do you love me most of all? Is it that time like when I swim all the way across the pond and you're really proud of me? Is that when you love me most of all? And she keeps saying like, yeah, I'm very proud of you when you do that, but that's not when I love you most. And in the end, she's like, it's now.
Wow. That's so
I
deep.
always love you the most right now because that's just, I love you the most in the moment.
That's a deep ass kid's ass book.
I know, right? That's like why it's my favorite kid's book.
Is it your
Because it's like,
favorite?
now.
I thought you said you didn't like the love books. I remember you said that once, and that kind of tainted the love books to me.
Really?
Like,
it's funny
you're
how
just
sometimes
like-
we take on each other's opinions a little bit once like we
Oh,
express
yeah.
it to the other person.
Yeah, but you're like, oh, these love books I don't
No.
connect to. You like storylines or...
But it's so funny because actually, now that I say because I said I didn't like it and it made you not really like it, but I was saying I didn't really like it because Forrest didn't really seem to like it. But now that he's starting to like kiss his stuffies and like come up and hug me from behind and really lovey things, and now he's actually starting to like these love books as well.
likes them.
And he's trying to say I love you, like he says I la la.
Oh, that's
which is so
nice.
freaking cute. So now he kind of likes these books. And that one, I will say, the raccoon book, I always
Yeah.
liked that one, even though it was a love book. When I didn't like all of the other love books, I liked
But
that
that's
one.
a good... Yeah, I mean, that does definitely have more, I would say, of a narrative than the other ones,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice. And there is... The now element of it is just, like, really trippy. It's like, oh, makes you think differently.
Totally.
Which I like. But there's some which is just, like, no real substance other than... I love you.
I love you, I love you, I love you.
Yeah.
Whereas the raccoon book is like, it's really cute too, because he's like coming up with all these ideas and it's as he's getting ready for bed. He's like brushing his teeth and now he's got a towel on his head and all of these things. And
It's a great book.
it's really cute. Yeah. I don't
like that
remember what
book.
it's called. Something about a raccoon loving his mommy.
Yeah, Raccoon Love, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, totally called Raccoon Love.
Raccoon
That's
Love.
like the best name for a kid's book.
Oh, yeah. Raccoon Love. What could that be?
I wonder if like reading all these kids' books is affecting my writing.
Do you think so?
Having like regular weekly writing work is, I know that when I read, I just finished reading The Cursed Child. Cursed Child?
The Cursed Child?
By J.K. Rowling and
Harry Potter.
John
the latest
Tiffany
Harry
and,
Potter.
Yeah, exactly. And that affected my article that I wrote that week. Like basically that week that I was immersed in that book, it totally affected
Input is important. But
Yeah.
you know, it's interesting. I know somebody who they believe in clarity of mind, so they just don't watch stuff.
Well, that sounds really
They
similar to what I've adopted for a long time. Like I was really kind of a little bit purist almost. Like, you know how you're always listening to podcasts and stuff. And
Yeah.
for a while there, I just did not want to consume things. Like I felt too inundated with too much stuff. It almost felt like it's always an indulgence. And I was like starving myself from all of these indulgences. And now I realize input is pretty important for me. I get inspired by things as long as it's not too much. But
Right.
for a while there, I was like that. I didn't want to watch things. I didn't want to... Reading, I would have done if I had the time. But for the most part, it was just like, clear my mind.
Right.
Clear the slate. The plate?
Clear the plate is what it is.
There you go.
Clean the slate.
Clear
Clear the plate.
There we go.
I don't know. I haven't heard of those.
Accurate.
I think it's
I feel
clear
like
the
that was-
slate. I think it is the slate.
Clean slate.
A clean slate. Clear the plate. Like finish all your food on the plate.
Yeah, less accurate. I'd say clean slate.
Are we gonna do that? You know, how we were raised, and it's just like you better finish all the food on your plate, otherwise,
No.
it's just like you better finish all the food on your plate because there's poor kids in the world.
Yeah, no, definitely not. No, I was told
But
recently about this whole where it's like, you remember who was it that told us about these rules? Where you've got I think it was our friend Holly, whose son is Eddie. It's like, and I don't know, she read a book about it. This is how parents get their information a lot of the times, by the way, is they just, well, us parents anyway, we hear from other parents who read books, or maybe they heard from their parent friends who read books. It's like old wives' tales. They travel.
Not me.
Information
I don't
travels
hear
well.
much from people who read books.
No, you don't, hey?
No.
You are the person who listens to podcasts and tells other people about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, the rule thing is, okay, you can tell your kid what they're going to eat and how they're going to eat it. You can tell them when, like what time, but not how much. That's what they get to decide. They get to choose how much they're going to eat, but you tell them the what it is that they're going to eat, the when it is that they're going to eat. And I think maybe the how. The why is just like totally up for debate.
Right. The why.
Why are we
am I
eating
eating
these
Well,
grapes?
that makes sense, because I'm hungry.
But yeah, it was interesting coming across that and being like, once you learn those boundaries, it's important to not break them. Like your kid can't say, oh, but I want this. And you're like, okay. Because then it becomes a little bit confusing, and
Right.
boundaries are pretty good for a kid. So if you just say, this is what we're eating. And yeah, as a parent, sometimes you're like, ooh, like I haven't given them enough variety. So you come up with some more things, like you want to be on top of that. But if your kid is just like coming up with all the ideas of what to eat, then that crosses a boundary. But at the same time, if you're like, you need to eat these last few bites, then that crosses their boundary as well.
Right. I had a parenting revelation regarding eating with Forrest recently, 2 days ago, and it was an important, just adult human revelation. Speaking of the baby, he's kicking around. We're looking at the monitor right now, and he is looking like he's about to wake up. Oh, is he gonna do
A
it?
bit of writhing.
He's
feet
got
in
his
the
feet in the
air.
air. It's impressive.
Oh man,
It's a
he's a
squirm.
big boy now.
Yeah, crazy to
Back
see him
arching. He went to bed so early tonight because we're doing the whole like 2 nap to 1 nap transition thing, and
And he's going through his 18-month sleep regression
yes,
that we've heard
and
about.
So we did a 1 nap, but it was the length of a 2 nap, 1 nap day.
Right.
It was basically the length of a 2 nap day nap.
2 nap, day nap.
Yeah, and so
man.
he's is
Look
he
at
getting
him
up?
go. Is he going to get up? Should I get him?
Oh, he's getting up. Yeah, you should go in there.
And
Way
we're
to
back.
go.
Boy taken care of. He's down.
Way to go. That was
He's back
fast.
down. Yeah, I snuggled him real good.
Daddy knows best.
Daddy knows best.
I think that's all he wanted, actually, because he didn't get to see you before he went to bed tonight because he had such an early bedtime.
He was pretty, he just wanted to snuggle. That's
He's
all
just
he
like,
wanted.
oh, Dada.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Dada. See ya. Actually, he's been really good with that lately, like with Cassie around, nannying. Cassie, my sister, she's my nanny 2 days a week.
Birthday coming up soon. Oh yeah, we know that.
And so she, puts him to bed and stuff like that instead of me. And if I've been hanging around, so like coming into the kitchen for some coffee or some food or something, and then he wants to like hug me, especially if it's around nap time. And he'll want to hug me and he'll kind of cry a little bit because he's like, oh, but mommy, it's you and you have milk and you put me to sleep sometimes. And then we'll explain. Okay, Forrest, Auntie Cassie's going to put you for night now. And he hugs me really, really tight. And then he lets go and he reaches for Auntie Cassie and he goes, Ka.
Oh, that's good.
And he just goes and he's happy.
Yeah.
It's really sweet.
That's
melts my heart.
That goes into the revelation that I had that I was going to say before he woke
The food
up.
thing.
Yeah. I was feeding him soup and I was very frustrated because he needed to eat. And
he hasn't been eating well because he's sick.
Yeah, and it's just like, I know you're going to eat the soup. You're stoked about the soup. But the problem is he just gets too distracted with the spoon as if it's something he wants to play with. Mm-hmm. And then so I give him the spoon, and then he just wants to play with it. And then I take the spoon away from him and try to eat. And then he wants the spoon back. And it's just like on and on.
Vicious cycle.
Vicious freaking cycle. And it's frustrating. I got mad. But like not mad, just kind of like, oh, this
losing your cool a little bit.
You didn't type thing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wait, why don't I just try asking him and be nice about it? Mm-hmm. And he had the spoon at this point, and I said, Forrest, can you please give Daddy the spoon? And then he gave me the spoon. And then I was like, Forrest, can you please take a bite of the soup? And then I scooped some and he ate it. And it was like, oh my gosh, we've been trying to tell him to be polite about things. Mm-hmm. And we've been, pushing it on him, like ask nicely. And then yet when I've been wanting him to do things, I just force it on him.
Yeah.
And getting mad. Mm-hmm. It's like when like he doesn't respond. And that is kind of like, it's like that.
We're teaching him by example rather than like, it's like do as I say, not as I do. But that's not really how it works, especially with a toddler. They're going to do as you do.
Yeah. So it was just like, oh my gosh, a realization with life. It was just like, if I get actions speak way louder than words, big time.
Totally.
It was a real revelation. Now that I say it, it doesn't sound like much, but it was super profound to me. And I was like, oh man, I just got to be a better person if I want Forrest to be a good person.
Yeah. It's like this children's series of books that I read when I was a kid. I think it's Let's Talk About. It's the Let's Talk About series. And they always would say, treat others the way you want to be treated.
Oh, but what if you've had some past trauma and you want to be treated badly?
Yeah, then you probably shouldn't treat people that way.
Yeah, that's
I mean, I feel like it's one of those.
But they don't really want to be treated that way. They just can't help it because of their past trauma.
Totally. Or I was also thinking like, I would really like to have lots of foot massages. But if I'm just treating people to foot massages all the time, I know for a fact that doesn't get me foot massages.
I'm saying in this situation, if you were to be like, hey Johnny, can I rub your feet? And
that sounds so nice. Oh, I want to be that nice.
And then I would probably, after the third time, feel bad and be like, you know what? These feel great. I'm going to give it to you. Maybe it is that way. Maybe it's like the nicer you are and not expectantly nice, then, I can think of scenarios right off the top. But anyways, that doesn't work. But
I will say from experience, like that has been my MO for a very long time. And from my experience, it still ends up being very much that like I give probably like 75% and I only get maybe 25%.
Right.
So I just start to like stop. I stop giving so much.
Yeah.
Because it's just too much. Especially, I have to say, after you have a baby.
You are a giver.
After you have a baby, you just stop giving so much because you really have less to give.
Wow. Because the baby, you stop giving to other people.
Exactly.
You're giving everything, including, your body parts to a human that can't give anything back.
Well, my body parts not all my body parts, but my boobs completely belong to Forrest. It's just absolutely outrageous. Like on days like today where I've been working and Cassie's taking care of him and I come over, to say hi and he's having a nice time with Auntie Cassie sitting on the couch listening to some Queen. And then I come over and first thing he does is he crawls on me and starts to try and take my boobs out of my shirt. Like not even a hello.
Like, these are mine. Maybe
he's just like, oh, okay. I'm going to have this now. I'm just like, what?
Are you saying ask nicely?
Yeah, no, I did. I have been trying that. He
forgot please.
He's forgotten please. Yeah. He was doing it for a while. It's, I'm just going to go ahead and say that it's the leap. It's the developmental leap. Yeah. He's going through a lot of stuff right now.
Yeah. I forget that. I forget certain things sometimes that I like habits, i.e., tidying up. Or sometimes I think in the past, like, oh, dang, I was really good at putting my clothes away right after they were washed.
Right.
Now, they stay in the bin for too long.
Yeah, it's oh my gosh, way too long.
Way too long. And to the point where it's like, what's dirty? Oh, it's bad. But I must say, this is my excuse, and I will acknowledge that it is an excuse and may not hold ground, but I'm going to stick to it and let the audience decide. Because baby sleeps in our room, there's a very small window in which I can actually put my clothes away.
Valid. Totally valid.
Because like I can't get in there and be hanging clothes, open up drawers from the time he goes to bed until he wakes up. So the windows that I could be doing that is, I mean, that's not an excuse because I can't. There is time. I make the excuse that I want to hang out with him and do other things, but if that's the one thing that I can do while he's awake, it's not that much of an effort. Mm-hmm. And we could probably play. See, I talked myself out of that excuse. That's the thing,
though. Like this is the same thing. Like why I could give lots of excuses why I don't exercise these days, but truthfully, I could make it happen.
You could.
And actually, it was harder for me to make it happen in the past. Like I don't know, maybe 3 to 6 months ago. It was way harder, and now it's a lot easier. Forrest is okay in the stroller. I could go for a run. I've done it before. It was absolutely no problem. Now that's not the issue. It's just about how much energy I have, or like, I don't know, how much grit I've got to make myself go out and exercise.
Right.
Which is honestly probably like the worst physical condition I've been in many, many years, because I've always been great at making myself exercise.
Wow.
I've lost it. I've totally lost it.
Well, you know what? Maybe you should follow the Instagram. I think it's called Fit Moms.
I do need more input like that, actually.
But that's like 9-month pregnant. That's like, or Fit Moms.
Oh, no, Fit Moms that they talk about on
Your Mom's
House. No, that definitely doesn't. Out. I'd follow it just for like the hilarious aspects. But
there's like pregnant women doing deadlifts and stuff. That is
just makes me feel bad about myself.
Town. Does it?
Yeah.
But these people, that's their life. Whoa, this picture looks like shit.
That is the thing to remember, hey? That's the thing to remember about like super insanely fit people is there's only so much time you have in your life for things. And you have to understand that there are probably things that you're doing in your life that you really enjoy that you'd have to give up in order to be able to do these things. What the heck?
This woman's doing a deadlift.
Are you serious right now?
She looks like...
What?
She's can't probably, be good for the baby.
What, 7 months pregnant?
Oh
my gosh.
That's ridiculous. Oh, what?
I bet you these babies are just going to be like love to be tossed around.
Yeah.
When they come out.
That's crazy.
Holy. This
is ridiculous thing to watch. What we're watching right now.
She's doing these crazy squats on, what is it? Fit_moms_of_IG.
Fit Moms of Instagram.
This is making me feel really... Can we stop this now?
Hashtag CrossFit Mom. Oh, that's got to be you.
Oh my gosh. No, when I was pregnant and we were doing... I was doing like exercise videos every morning. They were like steps. Little bitty steps. And now punch your hands out to this side and punch your hands out over to this side. And it was so tame. And... I remember, like, especially because I have a long history of, like, pushing myself in exercise. I was like, this is so tame. This is so silly. But very quickly, I was like, this is hard. Mm-hmm. So, like, when you're pregnant, exercising is really hard.
Well, I'm imagining these people, like, were crazy exercisers before they had a kid.
Okay, this is what's going on with me when I'm trying to exercise. Oh, look that's nice. She's got her toddler with her, and she's, like, doing exercises around him, but the screenshot was of her toddler like hanging onto her legs while she was trying to do downward dog. The other day I was trying to do some yoga. I was like, let's see if I can do yoga while Forrest is hanging around. My shirt kind of like fell up and I wasn't wearing a bra, and he just started like nursing from me like a cow as I was doing downward dog. I was just like, okay, I can't.
Oh my gosh,
I can't do this.
That's crazy. I wish I could see that.
No, you don't.
I wish I could see that. That would be ridiculous. Well, I think it's in that documentary Babies, where they just follow. Oh, that's so cute. But he's upset, and she's like, this boy
is he
that's
crying
on the ground, and she's just like, I'm doing my yoga. My yoga is more important than you.
Yeah,
son.
see, I'm not okay with that. I can't just let Forrest like. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm ruining my child, but I can't like ignore him. Even though there's times where I'm like, okay, I know you can entertain yourself, and I'll say to him, you're okay, buddy. You can find some things to do, or like maybe show him something, or give him a little bit of love and send him on his way again. But I really just can't ignore him while he's trying to get my attention. It feels terrible.
No, yeah, I agree. That does feel terrible. Anyways, we're just, I'll stop this. We're just looking at these pregnant women getting all jacked and shit.
Yeah, holy moly.
It's crazy. But don't feel bad about that.
No, it is also kind of, it is kind of inspiring me. I need to do more looking at people. Honestly, I was looking at Instagram the other day and looking at people who are doing crazy shit on travels and having so much fun. And I was feeling inspiration. And I was like, you know what? I need to stop bashing social media so much because it can activate you. Same as reading a magazine. Like I used to read a lot of magazines. And it totally activated me to eat healthy, to be fit, to exercise and all of these things.
Input's
good. It's that input. And so I realized I kind of need to stop bashing social media. But you need to use it intentionally because you can just turn your brain off and just scroll and scroll and scroll.
That's what I do. I go on these loops, but I know I'd rather just like read a good book. I watched this a video about just information retention, and it's so low, and we think that we're learning things, but we're not actually learning anything these days with the way that we're consuming our content.
Right.
And it's like, I kind of want to just like know things. I think that would solve the stupid uncertainty
complex that you've been having.
Yeah, that I've been going through. If I just actually spend the time and learn, and which we did a lot when we went on our travels. Like we read a lot of filmmaking books, or I read a lot of filmmaking books and screenplays, and I remember like going over them. And an important thing is to like contemplate what you've, learned.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
I actually really enjoyed discussing books with you on that trip.
Yeah.
Like talking about Paulo Coelho's book.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's called, why can't I remember it?
The Alchemist.
The Alchemist. Oh my gosh. It's one of my favorite books.
That's amazing.
It's
You
so
actually
cool.
remember the author's name, but not the book name.
Yeah, I know.
That's incredible.
Backwards. But we should do that again. Read books and talk about it. Maybe not on this podcast because I don't know how many people would actually be interested in that, but
we can talk about the interesting parts of the books.
That's true.
Yeah. Like there's, speaking of which, I need to get a book for this trip, or I got two books that I got to read, but I'm like, I always find another book that I'm like, ooh, Sapiens. Everybody's talking about this book, Sapiens. I should read that. Oh,
have you listened to audiobooks?
No, I want to, but it's just like a financial commitment that I'm not ready to.
Oh, like audible.com?
Yeah. And I'm, you know what? I've downloaded a lot of crap illegally, like content, and it's tempting. But it's just like, I'm in the business of creating content.
That's the thing, right?
And I want the industry to be more servicing, like, good content as opposed to just content that gets there.
Yeah.
That's like ad based.
Totally.
Because it's and
that's like what's happened with our news is people aren't buying newspapers anymore, and so the like news tends to degrade a lot.
Yeah, everything's clickbait. So I'd rather just like fully commit to whatever, you know what I mean? Baby boy's rocking again. Wow, only 22 minutes in the podcast.
What I think?
And it's his second time.
He went to bed so early that he actually didn't eat dinner, so I bet he's kind of hungry.
Oh, should you get in there and pop baba in his mouth?
He stopped.
Pop one of your hangers in there?
One of my hangers. That's what we call my boobs these days. Yeah, and they really don't hang very much.
No.
You took that from my mom's house too.
Yeah, I'm just a way to expose me. All my ideas are not my own.
Nothing's original these days.
Nothing is original besides,
except for my love for you.
Oh my God, that is beautiful. Wow, that is original. OG.
Hand holding.
Original.
Just gonna ask you something. Do you like flowers? Do you like fresh flowers?
Yeah.
Would you like it if I got you flowers sometime?
Yeah.
You know the whole like treat others the way you want to be treated kind of thing?
Oh man. Remember that time when I bought flowers for the table? I was like, I come home with these flowers and like, I bought some flowers for the table.
And Cassie's like, you could have just said that you bought them for her and they still would have gone on the table.
I was like, oh yeah.
Should
I
crying.
go in again? I'll go in again.
But he's not actually crying. He's just making a crying face.
But he just wants a cuddle. I'll just go and give him a good cuddle.
I think he needs to nurse. I should probably go in there. I'm sorry, Johnny, but
let me just try it.
Okay, you go ahead.
Okay. And we're back again.
That was less short than last time.
Yeah. Don't know what we were talking about. Don't care.
Oh, well, I kind of know what we were talking about. Actually, I was thinking about it.
We
in
just
the bedroom.
you prepared something. What did you prepare?
I was actually thinking while I nursed. No, I do feel like I could do more nice things for you, though, on the topic of like getting flowers for you and stuff.
We were talking about that.
Not even like, oh, treat others the way you want to be treated. I'm like, I feel like I could do a lot nicer things for you. I have it in me. It's just like you forget,
other than like cleaning up for me after me.
Yeah, I do a lot of that. You know, trying to come up with as many keto style meals as I can and things like that. But
I've even told you, like you, and that's. I sometimes I'm just like okay with just a salad and a meat. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like. Am I demanding?
No. It's still about coming up with it, though.
I know that's the hardest part, but it's just like work hours. You know, you get home at a certain time.
Totally. It doesn't make sense for you to be, and especially like, I don't know. I worked today too, but I was home much sooner to be able to make the dinner. And it was the most simple dinner, just like smokies and salad.
Oh yeah, love that. Without the bun.
So I am starting to listen to you on that front about like just really simple meals, like meat and salad kind of thing. But I do kind of miss, I don't know, just things like pastas and quinoa salads.
Ugh. Get it out of here. Pasta, give me a break.
And anytime I do want to make something that's like the low carb equivalent, like cauliflower rice, it's so annoying to make. So annoying.
I mean,
honestly, like spiralizing zucchini is pretty annoying.
I'm happy to take on that duty, and I do. I'm the spiralizer.
Mm-hmm. You are for sure.
That is, you know, I don't mind doing that kind of stuff.
But that stuff just takes so much longer too. Is the problem? It takes a lot longer than tossing rice in a pot or, you know, noodles in a pot. And
it is the hardest thing is coming up what to eat. Mm-hmm. Like if it was up to me, I bet we would be having rotisserie chickens from the grocery store.
Like 3 a lot more often.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe.
Well, remember the signature meal that we used to make all the time when it was like, what do we make? Let's make our signature. It was like the best. It was so good. And we can't have it anymore.
Well, we can.
We could do it with like rutabaga. Okay, so what it is it's like, potatoes, onions, carrots, a whole whack load of all of those things tossed together in garlic and lemon juice and olive oil.
Something important.
The sausage?
No.
What?
Kale.
Oh yeah.
And then what you got to do is toss in some olive oil, some freshly squeezed lemon, some oregano, some garlic, some salt, some pepper, some seasoning salt if you got it. And then you just toss that all in together, a healthy amount, just like a good amount, and then you just toss it in a bowl. On there. Yeah, you toss it around in a bowl with all those veggies, and then what you do is you put them on a pan. Make sure you line that pan with tin foil or parchment paper. No, tin foil.
Parchment paper is fine too.
Okay. You take some frozen sausages from this freezer.
Usually we'll use like Italian sausage. Italian sausage.
Hot.
Cut it into like 2-inch long sections.
Yeah. And then you just like evenly disperse the sausage
on top
pieces,
of the rest of the mix.
And then what you do is you preheat your oven. You've already preheated your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, this is getting dragged on long. Then you put it in the oven with some tinfoil on top.
You put some tinfoil over top, and then you put that in there for 30 minutes.
And then for the last 15 minutes, you take the tinfoil off.
To 30 minutes. And this is a crucial period because this is what's going to make everything crispy. This is what's going to make that kale real nice and sweet and crispy for you.
Is you take the tinfoil off the top. Oh my gosh, you just dragged this out so hard. I hope you all enjoyed that.
This is just like I'm blown away. Earlier at that dinner, you're like, we should talk about how we put bubbles in water and drink it. I'm like, that.
I know. We are talking about this. I just didn't think it was going to get dragged out so long. It was like,
that was the most interesting thing I've ever said right there. You know how much charisma just went into that meal?
Oozing charisma. I could tell that you thought you were oozing charisma because how slow and quiet you were talking. You're like, I'm so interesting right now.
You know what? We're gonna get so much feedback from this podcast because
you think you got so much charisma.
Well, it's sexy. I put on my sexy voice.
Your whisper voice. You start to whisper. Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah.
When you
put
think
on
it's
that
that you
sausage.
think you're sexy is when you're whispering. Oh.
Well, when I whisper and then I'm sexy, especially when I'm talking about food involving sausages, if you know what I mean. Right there.
It is the most sexy meal we've ever made.
Is it?
And I miss it, okay?
Legitimate.
Keto, I miss it.
Well, we do. We could make it. We have made it. With rutabaga instead of potatoes.
It's not the same. But you're right. We could make it.
I mean, you could do half and half. You can do half and half.
You know what? This has nothing to do with ketogenic. This has everything to do with now being parents and chopping taking way longer.
Oh, yeah. It used to be like, oh, I'm excited to make this Greek salad because this is like, I'm going to focus on all the chops. But now that's different when you got a little
ankle biter
wanting you to, I don't know, pick him up or something.
He just wants us to come. No, now it's like he wants us to chase him. We say, I'm going to get you.
I'm going to get you.
And that's how he's like telling us he wants us to get him. So we're just trying to cook in the kitchen and he comes over and yanks on us and goes, and you're like, how do I turn that down? I got to chase him now.
It's pretty fun. That's so much fun. That's
my favorite thing right now is how when you chase him, okay, first of all, you get the biggest reactions out of him when you chase him.
Really?
Like when I chase him, it's kind of like, mom's chasing me. But when you chase him, it's like shrieks. He's just like, there's a part of him that I think is actually a little bit scared.
Yeah.
But he's giggling and shrieking because it's always more fun when you feel a little bit scared, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he comes running to me and like hugs my legs and goes, Mama!
Yeah,
like,
that's
help,
cute.
Mama!
That's cute. And then he goes back and resets back into the living room for me to chase him again.
And looks at you again with these taunting eyes.
But soon when is it gonna go from just parodying us by saying like, I'm gonna get you to come get me,
Daddy, come get me?
Yeah.
I wonder.
I had a great time with him over the weekend. You took off to a different town.
Yeah, I was out of here.
You're out of here. You out of Dodge. Don't look back. Facing the music. Is that what it is?
No.
What does it mean when you face the music?
I think that means that, I don't know. That's a good saying to look up, actually. But I think the use of it is when you finally have to, like, face something that you've been trying to avoid. Yeah. So, like, the clothes piles that we have building up, I actually bought a new laundry basket to replace the old one. Wow. But instead, we're just using the old one and the new one for all of our clean laundry. So pretty soon, we're going to have to face the music and put our shit away.
But what does that come from? Is that like you just got to sing the song?
Face the music?
Is that when like the music is coming out and you're an actor in a musical and you're nervous? And you got to just go to the music and sing or dance?
I feel like maybe it's like at the Oscars when the symphony starts playing and you're supposed to get off stage and then you have to like walk past the band to leave and it's like, ooh, you just had to face the music that was playing you off.
Yeah, but like you're doing something. That's about you stopping to do something. Facing the music is how you explained it before is like you have to do something.
Right.
It's like walking away from something so easy.
So curious what that means now. That's a good one. It's a good saying. Even better
facing the music, shooting the shit.
Mm-hmm. I would like to.
What were we talking about?
Facing the music. Rewind it back.
Laundry.
No, before that was my analogy for what facing the music means. No, before that we were talking about Forrest. You went on Sunday. That's what it was. You said I was facing the music when I went out of town, and I just was not.
A total wrong way of using that. Okay, and then I had a fun bike ride afternoon with my boy.
That was so great.
It was great. Just we biked for probably 45 minutes to an hour. Went to Commercial Drive, car free day. Got to see some. It was just really fun to have him on my shoulders. Because we're on a bike, I don't have a stroller or anything, so I just threw, a diaper in my pocket. And just like...
In your pocket? You didn't have it in, like, the saddlebags?
Well, we did, but then I dropped my saddlebags and bike off at a friend's place. Because when I'm walking around car-free day, I want to have... But you know what I mean? So I didn't bring a backpack.
I also noticed that you just had a disposable diaper on him instead of the...
Yeah, that's just... Because I'm thinking in my head... Do I want to be stuck like on a bike having to find a place to deal with a really bad poop in a reusable diaper. Luckily, for like 4 hours, he didn't poop or pee, which is crazy.
Yeah, when we got him home, didn't he pee on the potty?
Yeah.
Crazy.
And right after the nap. That's pretty good.
That was good.
But yeah,
It
good
sounds like
day.
a great
And
day.
he loves chalk. That
Oh,
was weird.
yeah, that video of him dancing with the chalk. He's like holding 4 different pieces of chalk up to his face, and dancing lovingly.
And he loves it.
And then he drops a couple pieces, and then he like very, very carefully and meticulously picks them up again and then holds them up to his face and closes his eyes and starts dancing again.
That was a great moment. And then afterwards, we went to these like hippie dancers, and they had this like music playing and all this incense burning, and they're like all these hippie dippies were twirling their ribbons around, and Forrest was so into it, and I was so proud because everybody's like, that baby's dancing to the beat.
He
and I was like,
loves dancing
so proud.
So much. Actually,
and he's not just he loves it, he's good at it. And he's actually on beat. And when his little baby legs are like throw him off, he stops and is like, okay, I got off beat. So he's recognizing like he has a meter, which is really cool. Yeah.
And also because the day before Car Free Day was Catalano Fest on West 4th in Vancouver.
Busy weekend in Vancouver.
Really busy. And Forrest and I went because one of Forrest's all-time favorite artists was playing. Crazy Ford was playing. Oh my gosh, we all love Frazee around here.
Oh, Frazee
but
is
most
just
of all, Forrest loves her.
Shit.
And so we're like, we have to take Forrest to this. And so we're there, and he's like blissing out, dancing. And there was this other toddler girl there, about 2 years old. Her name was Una. She's super cute, and she just wanted to follow him around. Like, he wasn't paying any attention to her, but she just wanted to keep following him. Finally, she persisted so much that they were dancing together, and it was really cute. I got a video of it, and everybody's saying like, man, Forrest has such good dance moves. He's got such good rhythm. I'm like, well, they're both these toddlers are just bopping up and down. But upon looking at it, I was like, yeah, but Forrest does actually, like, there's something about the way that he is grooving that is like, it's got style.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know. It's kind of like the way he holds his arms too. Yeah. Like, it's almost like he's got one hand in his pocket and his shoulders are like hunched up a little bit and his knees are kind of like doing this dip. It's like, how do you have style like that when you're not even 18 months old?
And he has like different dance moves for different songs. Mm-hmm. The song Brave is more of a side to side.
Oh yeah.
He's not up and down. Like, he definitely is like feels different tone, like different movements for different songs. And I love it when he, like, because we in the place we live, our living room, there's speakers, but then there's also speakers in the den where the TV is, and that's where we throw music on the TV. So usually there's like an album cover of the music that we're playing on that TV. And so when we played in the living room and then we're just playing music and I decided to try something new, whenever it's something he likes, he just walks over to the den and looks at the album
He's got to see what the album art is.
Yeah.
That's how you know he really likes the song, is when he's like, what is this?
And he walks over to the album art, just stares at it for a while and then starts dancing.
Yeah.
And then the finger. If he puts his finger in the air, that's like, he really likes it.
That's huge.
And then that's
like a Roger Ebert thumbs up.
Yeah. But if he puts up both of his hands in the air, that's the ultimate. Oh yeah. And he did that yesterday with Tame Impala.
Oh, of course he did.
He did the whole routine. Good music. He walks around. He's like, "What is this?" And it was, I think, "The Less I Know, the Better" by Tame Impala. Very good song. Very good music video. We're gonna post it on our website, johnnyandcarly.com.
Carlyandjohnny.com.
Carlyandjohnny.net.
I just like can't imagine much more that Forrest could be doing to make me more proud of him. Just like dancing and loving music so much. He could be speaking in full sentences. That would be like, wow, I'm way more proud of you. I don't know, but more?
More is a hard word.
It's a tough word. Just like, he feels music in a spiritual way. Like the fact that he started practically moonwalking the first time he listened to Michael Jackson.
That was
when
weird.
We were not watching Michael Jackson. We were just listening.
I feel like it's hard to really communicate that because people roll their eyes like, yeah, sure. I bet he just like walks backwards.
No, he doesn't.
But he did not walk backwards. Like he still doesn't really, but he listened to Michael Jackson.
I'll tell you when he walks backwards. It's adorable. It's when you come up behind him and you're like, hey, Forrest, what are you doing? And he like backs up into you a little bit, like, and leans on you. It's kind of like his backwards hug.
Oh yeah.
It's really adorable. But those are like, that's the only time he walks backwards. And I've been saying, There was nobody behind him when he was listening to Michael Jackson.
And he's listening, and then he's just got his groove on. He listened to 3 songs straight, didn't move.
Yeah, because he was so just like blown away.
It blew his mind, and then he started
dancing.
walking backwards.
Well, first he was dancing, and then yeah.
So moonwalk, I don't know, maybe he's picking up on the
whatever Michael Jackson was picking up on. That guy had insane, whatever people want to say about Michael Jackson, he had an insane ear and an insane spirit for music. And I think like if there's something else out there, why wouldn't there be some kind of like spirit in music that people can tap into and that dance springs from, you know, like I know when I was working at the radio station, we'd have Music Tuesdays. It's not what we actually called it then, but I don't remember. Very
common in radio stations to do this.
Yeah. You just listen, you sit in the music director's office and he's got a few songs prepared for you that you're all the music DJ, like all of the radio DJs are going to listen to and give their opinion on whether, you know, it should go on the radio station or not. And so I'm sitting there, and as I'd listen to these songs, I would doodle, and each song would just inspire different abstract doodles, but they inspired them. And I feel like that's in many different ways. Music can inspire so many different things. So why wouldn't it inspire dance? And why wouldn't it actually be linked to, like, maybe there is a specific thing that comes out of music that inspires dance, that would inspire Michael Jackson to moonwalk and then inspire our child to start walking backwards with the same song.
I see it that way, but I also see it, what if it's more of like a collective consciousness thing? And they have done studies on this. I think it's called the Global Consciousness Project, where, well, it's like they did a test of, I'm going to totally make a mistake here, but really simply, they did a test in like Australia. The simple test, it's like almost like a matching game, I think, where you're trying to like, anyways, it's like, you do a test to see how everybody does. Everybody did poorly. And then they went in Europe and they gave like a whole bunch of people the answer in that like area.
That region?
In that region. I think it was like faces more than anything, like matching faces or something. Anyways, and then they did tests to those people, and then they all did way better.
They tested those same people that they gave them?
No, different tests in a different area.
But in the same region.
Yeah, I'm totally made a mistake there.
I think I understand what you're saying.
Anyways, yeah, they've done tests like that where they kind of see the effect of ideas amongst a large group of people and how ideas can just like organically spread. And maybe it's something more like that, because we associate Michael Jackson with the moonwalk, and then all of a sudden like there's like so much of his music is associated with that dance.
Totally.
That he just like Forrest just picked up on it. Yeah. Almost like radio waves or something.
That's interesting. And I mean, maybe that's the way that some animals communicate, because I know that there was a study with regards to crows. There was a man, I think it wasn't just one man, but it was like a research team that would go out and, wearing masks, they would capture some of the crows and put tags on them just so they could keep track of the crows. But then like years later, they'd go in the same masks, and these crows would now start dive bombing them, because it was like the information got passed down in the crow generations that when these people come in masks, they're bad. But they don't talk. How do they communicate something like that when the people hadn't come in years in these masks? But they told them. That they passed it on to the generations after them, that these people in masks are bad.
They're bad boys. What were they doing again?
But maybe it's through that global consciousness. They would capture the birds and just put tags on them. But I mean, like, what wild animal likes to be captured? So they
what human likes to be captured? What anything likes to be captured?
How many stories do people tell about alien abduction as though they're just like, oh, I've been violated?
I heard an interesting thing about that. You know how typical abduction stories are like, it's a very clinical setting, like you're on like this bed and you're being probed and tested and stuff. There's a theory that because the modern way of giving birth is so traumatic, that a lot of those experiences are just kind of like really intense flashbacks to birth, your memory at birth.
Oh, interesting.
It's when you're just like in these bright lights, you're on this table and you're being probed and stuff.
Yeah, your foot gets pricked and...
Right? And that you know what I mean? And then so like they're like, maybe it's like when these people are having these experiences,
they're going right back to birth. That's so interesting.
Whether or not they're actual alien things or your memory is altered based on traumatic events in the past, it goes right back to birth. Maybe like, and there's like, yeah, because like stuff happens. Like I don't know, because we were lucky enough with birthing of our little precious baby boy that. Who's moving around again, that we didn't have to get him prodded or like any tubes put in him. But some people probably, if there's complications, they had a pretty intense,
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
coming into the world.
Totally. We just heard a story about some people that we know that had a home birth, but things were a little bit more complicated when the baby came. The baby was not breathing and had a collapsed lung. Had to be rushed to the hospital. Meanwhile, mom started hemorrhaging and she was not able to, bleeding. And so she was not able to accompany the baby to the hospital. So this baby just was like, and this is a common story in hospitals where the baby needs to be taken away from the mom while some things, his health, that they're making sure the baby stays alive and whatnot. It's just scary.
Could you imagine you just give birth to this baby who's been with you for 9 months and it's like, okay, they're going to be taken to a completely different location. Without you.
Oh, that would be so hard.
But you get a baby eventually. You get the baby back.
Yeah, but I do feel for all the moms out there who deal with that stuff. Like, it must be a little bit difficult actually when you've given birth and in the end, everybody just wants to know the baby's healthy and everybody's happy. It's like, yes, everything's fine now. The baby's safe. But I just went through a bunch of crap and that was really scary. And I was really scared for a while. You know what I mean? It's almost like because the baby's healthy now and because everybody's home and safe and happy and recovering, that like you didn't just go through all of this shit. Like you kind of need, I feel like for me anyway, I would need people to understand how much shit I just went through. Because to pretend it didn't happen because now your baby's healthy and happy is like, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's why
a lot
people,
to deal with
that's
alone.
why I guess that's why people love to share horror stories.
Yeah, because they probably don't have enough.
Like I've heard so many birthing horror stories and the parents are just like very forward about telling. They're like, oh yeah, I
feel like there needs to be more support groups and,
yeah,
I don't know, just like counseling sessions for when things go like that.
You know what? I bet if something like that happened to you, those resources would open up to you.
Yeah, maybe you're probably right.
Maybe there are more. So then we think, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But either way, yeah, scary stuff can happen.
Yeah. Like you can have a ghost in your house.
Ooh.
That's scary. That's whenever I look at the monitor, I'm always like, am I going to see? And I look at it. Oh my gosh.
Do you ever look at the monitor and you see this huge thing just like float in the room and you're like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
It's like a little dust mite that flew in front of the camera. Oh my gosh. Did you see the moth that was in the car the other day?
No.
Oh, it's still in there.
What?
Oh my gosh. There was a huge, like 2.5 inch long moth.
That's teeny.
No, okay. Well, if you don't care about that, then that's fine. But,
oh no, sorry.
But just saying, it freaked me out because it's like right on the vent that blows the air conditioning. And I went to go like touch a button next to it, and then I was like, oh, like if that moth flew in my face while I was driving, scary.
That would have been game over.
Game over, man. Game over.
You got a fender bender.
Crash and burn.
Could have rolled the car. Or you could have, just like.
Oh, I've had like spiders land on me and stuff while I was driving, and you got to really keep control.
That's happened to you?
Well, there was one that fell down from my visor, like
in
hanging
our car?
from
What?
Like hanging from a thread, falling down from is that a visor? What is that called? The thing that flips down.
Let's call it a visor.
Okay.
A visor's not the right word.
It's not, but you know what I'm talking about. And but when a spider hangs down on one of its thread thingies.
Oh, I know all about that.
It can wave around too. So it's like waving in my face, and I had to like keep calm and grab the web and like move it away and toss it out the window while not crashing.
Oh man.
While still driving, because I was like, you can't always just immediately pull over. It's more like,
especially in
you're
the city.
more likely to
maybe
get
if
into
you're
an
in
accident.
the country or something, or Alberta.
Can you imagine being in a place where you just like slowly roll to a stop in the middle of the road because there's no cars anywhere? It's just fields.
That's even more scary
What a
because
life.
what if there's like some kidnappers there that just get you?
Kidnappers? Seriously? You really think kidnappers still happen?
Yeah.
It was so funny the other day. I was like,
Absolutely.
Forrest is out in our fenced front yard in our beautiful, lovely neighborhood with our neighbors who live downstairs that are our friends. It's daytime, and I'm just like inside getting a drink. And you're like, well, you just left him out there?
Yeah,
Well, he could
kidnappers.
get kidnapped. I'm like, what? Kidnapped?
Yeah, kidnappers. Isn't that a thing?
No. When I worked in
No.
broadcasting for like 7 years, we had to broadcast every Amber Alert that ever happened. And Amber Alerts are always about like, oh no, this thing has happened to a child and everybody needs to be on the lookout now for a child that has been suspected of being kidnapped. The only Amber Alerts that ever happened in my 7 years in broadcasting were always by family members.
Right. So that would be like me kidnapping Forrest.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're like, oh, no, I was just taking him out for ice cream. I'm his dad. And then you'd be like, call off the Amber
Cancel
Alert.
the Amber Alert.
I thought he was taking him away forever. I'm like,
Amber Alerts were really scary though. Like I was always a little bit nervous about Amber Alerts because it makes this noise like ring. Everything stops on the radio station. Like the music will stop in the middle and
do you
this
think
Amber Alert
right away,
sound comes on.
do you think like earthquake? What do you think? What do you think first?
Well, until I was the person playing the Amber Alert, when I heard it, yes, the first thing I thought was like bombs, because I always heard story about like air raid sirens and stuff. So that was just like the first instinctive thing that would come to mind. But then, yeah, it started to be like, tidal wave or earthquake, with us being on the West Coast here, of course. But then being the person playing the Amber Alert, it just made me feel like really tense. Like, okay, so this thing has happened. Blue eyes, blonde hair, 3 feet tall.
You've had to do that? You
Seen
had
it,
to
yeah.
be like, wow.
Yeah.
That's
and just
scary.
like everybody feels really scared. But
But it
once you
does
start to
happen.
like realize like what they're saying, you're like, okay, well, it probably isn't nearly as sinister as this seems. Like one parent has legal ownership or whatever, legal, not ownership. You don't
Custody.
know, legal custody of a child. And the parent without legal custody wants to spend time with their child. So they've taken the child now. And it's like,
And that's
most likely
legally
really bad
kidnapping.
things are not about to happen to this child.
no,
It's
they
just
probably
like
have a
legal
great
battles.
day. They probably just have a really great day.
Yeah. But when you're the person talking about it, over top of that really like scary music, you just feel so sinister and like,
Or it could be an abusive spouse.
that's
you know?
absolutely, we really don't know.
Kids get hit. It's
No,
a thing.
that's true.
I got hit as a kid, spanked, and it was fine.
I got spanked too.
But we can't spank, God forbid.
No. And also
Well,
I
don't-
got
maybe I
spanked
don't
like
think-
once, and then my
Yeah.
dad didn't want to spank me anymore. He was sad.
This is the thing. It's like, it isn't. I think spanking, like I got spanked. I turned out fine. All my siblings, everybody I knew my age got spanked. Everybody turns out pretty fine. But I think it's just like, there's more respectful ways of doing it that, of disciplining.
Respectful parenting.
Yeah,
wise. Yeah.
which take a bit more, like I think would be is much more of an effort to do properly than just being like, I'm mad, you did something bad, get on my knee. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's like this fear-based parenting, which I think came from our parents. I think it's like it's not, you're going to poke me?
No?
What's that finger doing right there?
It's just like, I was about
What
to
are
make
you
a point
trying-
when you were done talking.
You're going to
and it
point
just-
and you're like, we're pointing.
So yeah, I was just, I don't know what, am I Italian? I don't know.
I don't know why,
I was gonna
but I was
gesture.
just like, are you poking me right now? Like
And-
this.
Oh yeah, no, that was a poke.
Yeah.
I'm gonna poke you back. Jeez.
Jeez.
What are we poking now?
Were you Pokemon? Pokemon?
Ooh, poke.
See,
wanna eat
like,
some
but
poke.
you did this. Did
Yeah,
that
I
not
was
make
gonna
you
say-
feel like you were going to get poked?
No, not at all.
Oh, maybe I'm just jumpy.
You're always jumpy.
I'm way
I was
too
gonna
jumpy.
say though,
Oh,
that
that was a hit.
This is the
You
thing
hit
I wanted
me.
to do. Is I wanted to touch you in emphasis.
Oh,
okay.
Emphasis
Is that
touching.
allowed? It was an emphasis touch.
Yes, I'm just sensitive right now. We were just talking about kidnapping. It's a real thing.
I
Kidnapping
got you
is
really
not
worked up with that
funny.
Amber Alert.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say about spanking. Not everybody spanks their kids in anger. A lot of people they have the philosophy that they're like, okay, we spank our children. I don't want to like misrepresent how some people look at it. Spankers, exactly. But the way that some people use spanking is as a very measured, like physical, it doesn't really hurt too much, but it's just a bit of a reasserting your dominance to your child.
Right.
And it's like in a very cool and collected way where they don't do it right then when they're mad. It's like, okay, this is what happened. I gave you some warnings. You need to go to your room. And in 5 minutes, I'm going to come and we're going to have a spanking.
Oh, what if it's more of like an emotional spank, like a timeout? That feels like an emotional spank.
Man, some people
like
are
you're cut off. That's, you know what's funny about timeouts? It's kind of like solitary confinement for babies, for kids.
Oh yeah, totally.
Are we gonna do that? We're just like put your nose in the corner.
I am completely reserving all of my opinions on these matters right now because I just don't know. Like, I think
we should figure that out.
I don't judge my parents for spanking us kids. I certainly know that my brother Jackson was a bit of a case that was not. He wasn't just sit in the corner kind of person.
I got pinched under the arm.
A lot of people pinch.
That was scary.
I feel weird about pinching.
Yeah, me too. But what are we gonna?
Pinching seems like a really spiteful, childish thing to do.
But what are we gonna do? Like when there's gonna be moments where it's just like there's a discipline happening. We can count, but then what if that doesn't work? After we get to 3, it's like now I'm expected to do something about it, so that they can remember that once we get to 3, is it a nose in the corner?
So how do you feel about that?
No, like put your nose in the corner. Go stand in the corner.
Oh no, I never heard that one.
What?
Nose in the corner.
Well, you just put your nose in the corner.
Yeah.
Maybe I made that up
that because I would so debasing.
But it's like think about what you did, or like go to your room. Go to your room doesn't work because you could be like sweet.
You could decking out their room, man.
And especially
of course they're
these
gonna
days,
love their
it's
room.
like I'll play video games. We won't have video games.
I really don't know. I feel like I need to do more reading.
Well, how are you disciplined?
Honestly, by a stern voice. I was scared.
Oh, you're scared.
I don't like to make people mad at me. I've always had a problem with that. Like I was definitely like make mom and dad happy kind of kid.
Right.
And if they're not happy, which my mom can get very stern very quickly. And when like I think that's where I get my barking dog from. Like that part of me that's like as soon as somebody's doing something wrong, my instinct is to like shut that door right now, kind of thing. And I think that's I get that from my mom
right now. So but you got to watch that too. Maybe.
Oh yeah, no, I do feel like I need to watch that. Like I don't think.
But that won't be. But you don't do it in.
I want to do the respectful parenting thing. I want to make Forrest feel like there's a mutual respect that goes back and forth. And yes, I am the mom, and we know better, but we can help him understand why we know better and why sometimes he needs to give us the respect and just listen to what we say.
Yeah.
But help him understand that rather than just enforce it with like brute force.
It's about conflict resolution. It's like because it's conflict and you gotta resolve it somehow. Mm-hmm. Especially once you've established something's wrong, and then there's like you swallowed a yawn right there. That was amazing.
Thank you. You saw that? Oh,
I did.
Thanks so much.
Barely. It was super subtle, and I was like, wow, that's a hard thing to do.
I used to be able to do that with farts,
What?
Until I met you.
Not anymore. Good. You let them all out. That's what marriage is all about.
I do still know how to veil them, but it's much more difficult.
Yeah.
But it was extreme. I have to say, it was very, very difficult for me to learn how to push farts out.
It
was
bizarre.
hard. Isn't that weird?
Wait, and you actually spent time to be like, okay, I gotta get this out. I gotta make a sound.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't think it started with you, actually.
Why did you? Because like
it was a culture thing in my past relationship.
So more, really, you gotta fart.
Well, I kind of had to keep up with the game basically, because it was like, well, if you can't beat him, join him, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
It was like, oh, well, this keeps happening, and it's kind of grossing me out. But I bet you it's funny when you do it yourself. So let's just give this a shot.
Are farts a joke in our family? No, they could be.
No, they're not. Usually they're cause for us to go, oh man, you have to do this over here? Or like, whoa, what did you eat today?
But burps. They're pretty funny.
Burps? I used to think burps. Oh, butt burps. I used to think burps were a lot funnier.
Yeah.
Now I feel like there's definitely a time and place for them.
Yeah, like right now.
Oh no.
That sounds like you're.
No.
Okay.
Not the time or place.
Really? Do you mean it? Because I'm just like half of you're saying no, as in like keep doing it so I can keep telling you.
What?
No, this is a shtick.
No means no, Johnny. I don't know if you've been hearing all of the rhetoric in like the college newspapers these days, but no means no.
That's not these days. That's been a while. That's been like 80s shit.
Yeah, that's true.
No means no.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's really had a revival.
Snow.
Not when a weather forecaster in Vancouver's talking about it.
You can say that about most things. Cup means cup.
That's really true. I mean, it's
tree means tree. That just makes it more obvious that no means no.
Read means read. Unless it's on paper, it might mean red. Red means red. But is it R-E-D or R-E-A-D? See, this is where it gets really murky.
Well, yeah, that's why you have to read it. What if it's
English language is so weird.
What if it's like there means there?
Yeah, no, we're just getting into totally like...
Guitar means guitar.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean...
Computer means computer.
Yeah, are we going to keep going? This feels like elementary school now.
Chair means chair.
Accurate. Hair means hair.
Hair means hair. Flare means flare.
Well, I don't know. That's debatable.
Well, what is flare? I don't understand flare.
Well, there's two different ways to spell flare, first of all.
Tell me about what flare is.
Okay, well, there's flare like F-L-A-R-E, which is like a light flare in the sky.
Lens flare.
Lens flare, that type of thing.
Right.
It's light when it flares up brighter.
Okay, yeah, I can wrap my head around that.
Yeah,
flare.
and then there's flare like F-L-A-I-R.
What's that?
Which is to do something with flair, like with a flourish, with extra, oomph and expression. So like in Office Space.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, when they had to wear all
Jennifer
the flair
Aniston's
pins.
characters. Right.
Where's all your pieces of flair? You need at least 20 pieces of flair.
Right.
So that's just like extra expression and...
I didn't realize that those are two words. Two different words. I thought it was just like, oh yeah, lens flare, because it's kind of like, whoa.
Yeah. Words is my thing, I write words. I speak and write words.
You do?
I probably could just break down what I do instead of saying like, I'm a writer and a voice actor and what else? Communicator? No, I just do words.
Wordsmith.
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 No, but well, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
It's actually kind of maybe the reason why I've always held off on saying that something was my thing is because it's really intimidating to say that something is your thing, because once that's your thing, you can be criticized for not being good enough at your thing.
By who?
Your inner voice and other people who you convince that it's your thing. I can't draw up any specific time, but
so it hasn't affected you. So having a thing hasn't affected you. It's mainly
I don't know.
Your
I
own
can't
voice.
Draw up a specific example, but I just know I have been burned by criticism a lot, like just emotionally, not like I've had extra criticism more than other people, but I'm just really sensitive to criticism. And so I'm speculating that is why I've held off on committing to a thing for so long. Because once you say it's your thing, then you can be criticized for that thing.
Huh. But you know what? Sometimes criticism is good because it's just like, it holds you to a certain standard.
I can actually feel like my back getting up
right
now. Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Huh.
I don't know where that comes from, but I'm just very sensitive to feeling like I'm bad at something. Like I can cower. It's so strange.
Huh. But you know what?
Where does this shit come from?
Probably your...
my genetics, probably.
Your evolutionary past.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
Or your childhood. I don't know. Talk to Freud. Ask Freud. Freud would know.
I'll just go into the afterlife and ask him and come back later.
Yeah. Just like...
Wouldn't that be a neat thing?
Wouldn't it?
Who would you talk to that's dead?
Kyle.
That's not a hard question. What would you ask him?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd
want him to tell me what his last year was like, or what. Oh, geez. I would want to ask what his last moments were like. What was going through his mind? We never know.
We will never know.
You know a few people that had like
near-death
but there's like a certain point. They're near-death experiences. There has to be a point where it's like you take that next step into whatever the abyss, and then near those final moments, you're like, "This is it." You understand what's like
maybe, but I mean, when you okay, well, we don't know exactly what it's like to be in the state that he was in, but when you're in a mind-altered state like that, it could be that you really don't know where you are or what's going on whatsoever. He may not have had any idea.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. See, that's the thing. That's what I'd want to know.
It's like in some movies where they're like, the person has died and they're a ghost, and they're like, wait a minute, what's going on? Why can't I talk to those people? It's like they don't know that they've died.
Yeah. It's so funny because it's like, when you think about it, if somebody's died, who would you want to talk to? You can say, oh yeah, famous person, Michael Jackson. But it would be like, how much time do you have? You really can't have meaningful conversations with people until you've like established something, I don't think. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you just want to be around their personality, or would you be like, nervous around them?
You know who I would actually really love to talk to, although it would be difficult because we need a translator, but I would really love to talk to Albert Einstein.
Hitler?
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Hitler.
Albert Einstein.
Why?
Because so many of the things that his ideas,
I don't know a whole lot about him. You don't think it would be over your head? You don't think most of his stuff you'd say would...
I would just want to have a regular conversation with him because he was so intelligent, but he was also so quirky. Right. And there were some like really interesting ways that he took all of this incredible knowledge that he had and all of these crazy theories that he had, and he just could translate them into like life. So I think he'd be pretty interesting to talk to.
Right. I'd want to talk to...
I'd like ask him advice about my life and just hear what he listens, hear what his responses would be.
I'd want to... the guy who invented the atomic bomb, he became a Hindu. And he has this really disturbing like quote. Oh shoot, what is it? Why can't I even think about it? But it was like... What
was the gist of it?
You're a destroyer of worlds. Blah, blah. It was like this, it was really dark, and he felt like very... Yeah, by like contributing to developing the A-bomb.
And he just felt awful. Can you imagine being a scientist that you're discovering things and you're researching just for the sake of the elation of discovery, and then what you've uncovered is actually something so, so terrible.
Yeah, man. But you're also so fascinated because you're like, wow, this is like
it can be done.
Edge. It can be done.
But it shouldn't be done.
Yeah, it's like all those Nazi scientists that were like, yeah, doing all this weird... All of a sudden you get permission. I wonder how many people are like that. They're not psychopaths, but if they turn something on in their brain, they can be like, well, I can ethically justify it because I'm pushing everything forward. Like, so much... Wasn't it like how so much of the technology we have now came from wartime, or like came from... Oh,
yeah, totally.
Right?
So much of it. And also, to your question, I think like, if depending on circumstances that we were all raised in, any one of us could probably circumstantially end up going along with something that right now we would think is appalling, but under completely different circumstances and under completely different, lives that we lived, we would go along with it.
Yeah. And it could happen. It has happened a lot. But that is weird to think about, that like, think about how many people went along with like the hating Jews in World War II. Not all of them are psychopaths, right? But they were convinced, it's weird.
Yeah. I wonder if it's along the lines of a mob mentality kind of thing. Well, this is a really nice topic to end on, but I do feel like for numerous reasons we should wrap this up.
Yeah, I need to brush my little whites here.
Yeah. And I feel like the temperature in the house just went up by like 10 degrees. It's so hot.
What?
Do you feel hot? Because I feel hot.
No. That's the thing about me is
Maybe I'm just coming on to you right now. Let's take off all our clothes.
Oh, quick. Let's turn off the podcast. Oh, yeah.
I did say for multiple reasons, didn't I?
Oh, my gosh. I'm bad at picking up those hints.
So many winks right now. Wink, wink.
No need to elaborate.
Something in my eye.
But I guess we can talk about something very inappropriate at the end.
Oh, this is so funny.
So, okay, if you don't want to hear anything inappropriate, stop the podcast.
Now's the time to stop the podcast.
If you are sensitive, it's not even that bad.
You know,
it's actually more funny
when
than
you
anything.
come to the house of a couple whose baby sleeps in bed with them, it's just really the hazards of this kind of life that you might stumble across some private things of ours that you may not want to stumble upon.
But that's not even what's funny. Like, okay, I guess so. But we should say what we have in our possession.
Oh yeah, sure, that's fine.
We have in our possession deep throat gel and cock rings.
When you say it like that, it's
bizarre.
Like, oh my god!
But we didn't buy it. We got it shipped to us in the mail because
it was a welcome kit because we bought something else that was off of the same similar like adult games
like a card
kind of
game.
website. Yeah, it's a card game to just like spice up your life. Here's some ideas of fun things to do.
Yeah, and it was like we also sent you some porn, some.
It's
cock
like a
rings,
DVD with like
DVD
the top
porn,
60
with these like
porn
really
videos.
like bizarre looking porn videos on the cover.
Don't even
Straight
have
up
a
nudity.
DVD player.
Straight up porno nudity.
I mean, maybe
it.
if we had a DVD
Sent
player,
to
we
us.
might put it in the and watch it.
We got condoms, we got cock rings, we got deep throat gel, which I didn't know existed. That's
out of
hilarious.
context, this is just so funny. Just imagining like the opening of the podcast. We got
But we do have deep. And I
anyway,
remember,
that stuff got left out when my brother was here, and it was just too funny.
But and then I was like, he's there. Oh no, I should hide it. And then I like grabbed it while he wasn't looking. And then I was like, why am I hiding this? It's like I should just say we got it sent in the mail. It's like why am I embarrassed about this? And then I was like, sent it to him. He's like, oh, that's funny. He's like, because I saw that laying
like,
out,
I just
and I
saw
was
that
just
now.
like, okay, whatever you're
All right.
into. All
It's
right.
just
And
like- But the branding on this bottle is so silly. Like, it, you know, there's a lot of lubes and stuff out there that they've got good branding and whatever. But this is just like black plastic casing on this bottle with white big block letters that say deep throat gel. Like, what?
What? And it was sent to us unsolicited. We did not ask for this.
That's not exactly true, actually.
You asked for it?
Well, it was supposed to come with the Spice Up Your Life game. It was
Wait,
like
so
if
you
you buy
knew
this
about
now,
this?
I didn't know what was in the welcome kit. I just knew that they send you some like, ooh, we send you some fun little extras. And I was like, sure, whatever.
Yeah. No butt plugs though, right?
No butt plugs.
Damn.
I saw it in your eyes. Anyway, so now you know a little bit more about our sex life.
We have
which does not happen in the bedroom anymore, ever.
No.
Just
Which
saying.
somebody told me about that before when we were like, we're gonna have a bed share, and they're like, say goodbye to your sex life.
In the bedroom.
But they didn't say that. They just said say goodbye to your sex life.
I feel bad for those people.
No, but they have a crib. They had a crib.
Well, then how did that? They don't know then. They don't know.
His ex.
Why do people say things like that when they don't know? They just
I
don't
do
know,
that
Johnny.
a lot. I do that a lot.
You warn parents about what they're in for? I feel like that's
Yeah.
one of the worst things
No,
you
I
can do
don't.
to a parent.
No, but
know
I
you
say
don't.
things that in my head I'm like, as I'm saying, I'm like, you don't know shit. What are you doing? And I'm like, absolutely.
I've totally
This,
heard
that,
you
and the
doing
other
things like
thing.
that, and I'm thinking he doesn't know shit.
Yeah, I don't know shit, but like I can pretend to be confident.
Oh,
That
all right.
side of me existed much great. Well, I don't know. I believed it. I believed it when I said it, but there was like a thread of me being like, "Oh,
You
I
don't really
wouldn't
know
trust
what this is.
boy."
Mm-hmm.
But not anymore. I'm feeling.
But I will say, when parents warn other parents, it's almost like, okay, you just why? You just want to cough when I'm talking. I don't need to say it. It's fine.
No, say it.
When other parents stop.
Just breathing deeply.
When they tell other parents about like, oh, just wait until this happens, or and people do it about marriage too. It's like, do you want us to have a bad time? It's almost like a spiteful thing where it's like, well, I had a hard time, so you have to have a hard time too. I just don't think that's right.
Or like when it happens to you, just know that it's normal.
Maybe, but though I definitely can tell the way there's a difference
There's
between
some
the way those
camaraderie.
parents say it and the way some other parents say it. I haven't heard it as much done to us the jerk way, but I have heard it happen to other people.
I wonder what the
It's like,
ratio is in the world, in the entire world.
why do you ask questions like that? There's
What?
just no way of knowing.
But there could be. Isn't that
No.
interesting? Oh man, could you imagine if we had just like all of the statistics for everything?
Like on call, like a Google type of thing.
So do you think in a hypothetical future when we invent a time machine and we can just like relive our lives over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and we just like tried all the possibilities, we can then come up with that statistic and
Oh
we'd
my
be like,
goodness.
actually, you know what? You have done that before.
That's so
and
boring.
You do that like 17.67% of the time.
First of all, that's information
Wow.
overload.
You've only so far done that 1% of the time. This is a very special moment. Wow.
Nobody has the brain capacity for all that. Just saying, I've had to write press releases, and when you're trying to pack in a bunch of information and numbers and stuff, you're not going to catch anybody's attention. They have stopped
Whoa.
reading.
But
or
there's
listening.
some people who are like data scientists that are like, interesting.
Are you a data scientist?
Absolutely not.
Wow. That's that then.
I just lost the game.
I just got scared. I just got scared of my shadow.
Really?
It's like, oh, something's moving over there.
I jump a lot. I get scared. I get scared pretty easily.
Oh,
I get
Johnny.
scared when you walk around the corner and I'm not expecting you to be there.
I try so hard to alert you to my presence.
That's what
so
makes
you
it
won't
scary.
Be scared.
That's what makes it scary because you just like slowly put your arm on my shoulder.
No, that's not what makes it scary, because I've only started doing that because you get scared when I just walk up normally.
It's scary.
Guess what? We have a lot to do because we're leaving for 10 days in like a day and a half. And
that's
I
too
got a lot
many
of work
days.
to do, and you got a lot of stuff to do. So yeah, we got to get ready. But we are going to be gone next week, and we're going to miss this podcast. We're going to miss doing this, but we are going to be with two of our favorite people. So, and
Maybe
then
we do the podcast on the road.
you want to bring the stuff?
Yeah, but we only have 2 microphones, so it should be you doing it with somebody else. Like you and your dad.
We'll discuss.
We are right now.
I don't know. My dad, he freezes up a little bit when he's on the spot. Like, I don't think he'd enjoy this, is what I'm saying.
I think you would.
If there was only 2 of us.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, no, maybe you're right. We'll discuss. We don't have to discuss right now because I feel like it's a much longer discussion than how much time we have.
Okay, you win.
I see that yawn, and I raise you a double yawn.
Okay, goodbye. Love you.
Love you.
This is a good night. Talk to you next week. No.
Talk
Maybe
to
we have to discuss
I
that.
can't believe we have to wait for 2 weeks to talk to each other again. Oh.
Oh, no. They'll just talk to each other right after us and hit stop record.
That's a wrap on another week of merriment, you guys. Thanks for listening, and we are still discussing about whether to bring the podcast on the road with us next week and record with my dad and Paula. Could be super fun, but it might just be a surprise. If you want to be notified if and or when next week's podcast comes out, well, maybe you should just subscribe and get the episode automatically downloaded into your podcast app. Or subscribe at carlyandjohnny.com and get an email when the episode comes out. Either way, we love you. Can't wait to talk to you again. You can grab our show notes up at carlyandjohnny.com and let us know your thoughts on this week's discussions via our social channels linked from our website. Audio engineering for Merriment done by Johnny Jansen, editing by me, Carly Jansen, and the Merriment theme song written and performed by me and Johnny. TTFN.